Hey, what's going on, people? I hope you guys are doing good. Today, I have an exciting video for you. I am at Discovery Cove in Orlando. And in case you guys don't know, Discovery Cove is a place where you can swim with fish, dolphins. They have sloths and otters and a bird aviary. Tons of cool stuff here, and you get a first-hand experience. But more importantly, we're checking out the Insta360 X3. Okay, so. Let's talk about what's new on the Insta360 X3. First and foremost, it has a new price. The X3 is $20 more expensive versus the X2, and that's for a few different reasons. First and foremost, inflation, but also the specs on this camera have improved significantly over the X2. Let's talk about those now. The X3 packs a brand new half-inch sensor that's capable of capturing 72 megapixel 360 photos and 8K 360 time lapses, but we'll talk about that more later on in the video. It also has a larger battery at 1,800 milliamp hours compared to the X2's 1,630 milliamp hours. And if you're wondering if you can use the X3 battery on the X2 or vice versa, unfortunately you can't. As you can see, they're not interchangeable. So even though the batteries are not interchangeable, most of the accessories are. So whatever you have for the X2 will more than likely work with the X3. This includes things like the invisible selfie stick, the bullet time cable, the mic mod, and even the quick reader are all compatible with the X3. So outside of the improved specs, the X3 also has an improved design. First and foremost, it feels a little bit better in the hand, but it's also thicker. So it's a thick boy, as you can see. So it does have a little bit more weight to it, but it just feels really good in the hand. But one of the best improvements of the X3 over the X2 is the display. Look at this like 2.3 or 2.29 inch display compared to this little circle porthole display. Like, this is just so much better. We also have a few more buttons. So we have a single button on the X2, but on the X3 we have 4 buttons. So we have 2 buttons down here on the bottom. One can start and stop recording. Then we have a power button over here on the right. And then we have a quick button so we can set up like a custom shooting mode that we want to launch at any time. We just press that and it will take us to that saved preset. So lots of cool stuff going on with the X3. Definitely like to see that. And it makes using this camera a little bit easier if you have gloves on or if you're in a cold environment, things like that. So I get asked all the time, why would I use a 360 camera over something like a GoPro for vacations or little adventures? And that's simple. It's because of everything I can do after I record the footage. All I have to worry about is putting this in 5.7K 360 mode and hitting that record button. When it comes to framing, I can do all of that in post. If I want a 1x1 video for Instagram, I got that. If I want a 9x16 for TikTok and Instagram Reels, I got it. If I want it 16x9 for YouTube, done. I can do all of that after I record the footage. And that's the best thing about the 360 camera. And that's why I would use it over a GoPro. But that leads me into one of the new features on the X3, and that's the 4K single lens mode, which acts just like a GoPro, so I can use this for vlogging. Let's switch to that now. So this is what the 4K single lens mode looks like, and it's really impressive. So you can shoot in frame rates all the way up to 30 frames per second when in 4K, but if you're shooting in 3.5K all the way down to 1080p, you can record up to 60 frames per second. So quite a bit of options there and flexibility. But what I love about this mode is that it's perfect for vacations and vlogs and things like you're seeing right now, because it gives me a 16:9 image without any effort. Everything is done right in camera. And I love having this screen on the front because it gives me an idea of what my framing looks like, so I can easily get the shot that I'm going for. And the stabilization is incredible. Like, I'm walking in sand right now and a lot of bumps and stuff like that. And you can see it is very, very stable. So super impressed there. And I'm using a Rode Wireless Go 2 plugged right into the X3 using the mic mod. And the audio seems to be really good. Another new feature on the X3 is Me Mode. How it works is simple, but genius. Only the lower half of both lenses will capture the video. This will ensure you're in frame the entire time. Then you can skip the process of reframing 360 footage in post. For best results, you want to keep your arm at a 90-degree angle and the invisible selfie stick straight out in front of you. You can also record from the back using something like Insta360's backpack mounts or just an extra large selfie stick and get this really cool video game look. If you don't want to use the backpack mount, you can always just toss the invisible selfie stick over your shoulder, as I just mentioned, and keep it 90 degrees. You can even use Me Mode while riding a bike, and since it's automatically framing you in camera, it takes out any post-processing work. Me Mode records in 1080p up to 60 frames per second with a high bit rate of around 100 to 120 megabits per second, making sure plenty of detail and information is captured. Of course, like other Insta360 cameras, The X3 is waterproof up to 33 feet. When you combine this feature with the 4K single lens mode, you can get some pretty epic shots that many other cameras and phones can't capture without expensive cases. The X3 can even record 5.7K 360 video underwater, but you'll need the dive case accessory for best results. I didn't have the dive case on my trip to Discovery Cove, but I still managed to make the best of it. Considering how much was going on in the water and how shaded many of these areas are, I think the results came out pretty good, and I was able to capture some crazy looking fish. It did take a little finessing in the editor to properly frame many of these shots due to the lack of the dive case, since stitching can be finicky, but overall I'm very pleased with the results. After doing some snorkeling, we decided to head over to the bird aviary to get some more 5.7K footage. This brings me to another new feature on the X3, and that's the 5.7K 360 active HDR video. This mode will offer more dynamic range in the highlights and shadows when filming in areas that are difficult for the standard 5.7K to capture. The software that I was using is beta software, so there were a few times it didn't go as expected, but all of this will be resolved and fixed day one of release. To be honest, beta software or not, many of the shots I captured look incredible, especially coming from a camera that can fit in a pocket. The larger battery on the X3 is a major improvement over the X2. I was able to record for a little over an hour on a single charge with the display brightness around 75%. If I had a couple extra batteries, I could have easily gone without having to recharge the entire day. So unfortunately, time really got away from us and we have to pack it up and leave. Discovery Cove closes early compared to other parks, so it closes like around 5 o'clock because of the animals. I totally respect that. But I really hope you enjoyed exploring this place with me and taking a look at some of the animals like the otters, the birds, stingrays, fish, and things like that. It's a really nice park, definitely interesting and very unique compared to some of the others, but we're gonna continue this adventure and continue the X3 video over in a different park and take a look at some different animals at Animal Kingdom. So with the power of editing, you guys can see that now. And just like that, we are at Animal Kingdom. So let's continue on with the X3 video and take a look at some more animals. So we're about to go check out some more animals. We have like a Komodo dragon, a tiger that we're gonna check out, some really cool stuff, and like a little safari trek. So I'm recording this on the X3 right now using the single lens mode in 4K. Like I said, this is my favorite mode. I absolutely love how convenient it is. It does the 16:9 crop right in camera, and I love the fact that I can carry around this small little pocketable camera, capture all the moments in a place like Animal Kingdom, where lugging around a large mirrorless or DSLR could be very inconvenient. I really do love the 4K single lens mode. It makes capturing things like a simple walking shot so easy, and trust me, we did a ton of walking. My poor pregnant wife probably hates me by now. Anyways, even though I wasn't able to get close enough to the Komodo dragon or tiger to really show you on camera, you can kind of see them. More importantly, you can see how good the footage looks from the X3. The 5.7K HDR footage looks really good in my opinion. Even the shot here with the monkeys doesn't look bad given how difficult of a scene this can be to capture, even for an expensive DSLR or mirrorless camera. So we just checked out some bats, which I forgot bats were actually at Animal Kingdom, so that's kind of cool. But I wanted to talk about something that is new on the X3, and that's the new bullet time. So now you can do bullet time in 4K up to 120 frames per second and 3K up to 180 frames per second, and that is just crazy. So unfortunately, we didn't get to see a tiger. I mean, we kind of did. It was like a little black and orange dot on camera. You can kind of see it, but that's okay. We're gonna head over to the safari and ride on that little ride over there and check out some more animals. And that gives me a chance to test out the stabilization on the X3. So let's go ahead and head over and do that. The stabilization on the X3 is just as you expect on any Insta360 camera. It's solid AF. The safari ride that you're seeing is extremely bumpy and damn near impossible for any camera, but the X3 handled it quite well. We were able to capture lots of cool 5.7K HDR footage of the different animals out roaming, everything from crocodiles, hippos, giraffes, and more. Flow state is an absolute boss when it comes to keeping things stable, and when you toss in a 360-degree horizon lock, you're not only getting footage that's stable, but also stays upright, even when the camera turns. So another thing that's new on the Insta360 X3 is that you can record 8K time lapses. They look amazing, and I'm actually recording one right now. 8K time lapse captures a ton of detail with plenty of dynamic range. This is going to be a big reason people grab this camera, especially when it comes to all the 360 magic you can do in post, like rotating the camera, zooming in and out, and even panning up and down. Outside of the 8K time-lapse feature, we still have classic features like the time warp effect, which is perfect for recording your car. All you need is a strong suction cup mount plus the invisible selfie stick and you're good to go. While time warp isn't 8K like the time-lapse feature, it still looks excellent and provides a very unique perspective for storytelling. The 72 megapixel 360 photos also look excellent, and since these photos are captured as DNG files, you have quite a bit of flexibility when editing. There's quite a bit of detail captured, which allows you to reframe photos or even animate them inside the mobile app. So the Insta360 X3 offers two new modes. We have pre-recording and then loop recording. At the time of this video, well, at the time of making this video, pre-recording is not available, but it will be available at launch, so I look forward to testing that out. However, loop recording is really cool because it basically turns the X3 into a dash cam. Loop recording works by continuously recording, but only saving the last few minutes. You can adjust the parameters of loop recording right on the camera. You can set the amount of time that gets saved, the resolution, and the frame rate. One of the benefits of buying an Insta360 camera is that you get access to an AI-powered editing suite filled with tools, including a sky replacement. The sky replacement feature is so much fun, and it works great. There are quite a few sky replacements to choose from, and each one comes with its own little theme song. There are many other awesome stories or presets inside of the Insta360 mobile app that are powered by AI that make capturing unique shots super easy. Things like nose mode, cine lapse, street lapse, and more. It's easily one of the best things about buying an Insta360 camera. So another new improvement on the Insta360 X3 are the improved microphones, and they do feature directional audio support. So right now I'm using the internal mics on the X3 versus the Rode Wireless Go 2. Let me know how the audio sounds. I think it should be pretty good. It should be an improvement over the X2, and the directional audio support should definitely narrow down things and reduce any unwanted noises and things like that. So let me know what you think of the audio from the X3. There's a lot to love about the X3. I think the improvements over the X2 are quite significant, and it's a worthy upgrade for sure. I really enjoyed using it this past week and would go as far as saying it's a perfect vacation and adventure camera. The amount of content you can create with this one little camera is insane. The video quality is great, the internal mics are fantastic, it offers unique perspectives, plenty of modes, and of course the app simplifies the process of making complex content. What more could you ask for? So there you go, that was a look at the Insta360 X3. I think it's a great improvement over the X2. You're getting really good video quality. I think that speaks for itself. All the improvements in the AI processing and the processing in general, the larger sensor, I think really make for a great pocketable action camera, 360 camera combo. You're getting a lot of great features wrapped into one little small pocketable camera that you can take anywhere. So if you're looking for a camera for vacations or for exploration, this is definitely one to consider. I've really enjoyed using it and I've enjoyed my time with it, and I will continue to use it. So if you want to see more Insta360 content just like this, y'all know what to do. Go ahead and subscribe and let me know what you think of the car vlog that I'm doing right now. I don't think I've ever done this before on the channel, so definitely new for me. Also, what do you think about this camera? Do you think that it's impressive? Do you think that there are better options out there? Comment down below. And if you want to purchase this camera, I'm gonna drop a few links in the description. You might be able to get some free items or save some money by pre-ordering or copying one using those links. So outside of that, I really hope that you enjoyed spending some time with me and checking out this camera, and I'll see you beautiful people in the next one.